Good morning, students. Today we will continue the topic which we have started in last lecture, hospital formulary. Today we will discuss the hospital formulary, its contents and organization. In that, primary objective. In that, we will discuss 3 points: information on drugs, information on hospital policies and procedures, and special information about drugs. In accordance in these objectives, the formulary should consist of three main parts. There are three main parts of this formulary. A part, information on hospital policies, means what policy we are preparing for maintenance of hospitals or maintenance of staffs or the regulation of the various procedure, regulation for patients, regulations for doctors, or regulations for their recruitments, their maintenance, whatever the things which are required for to run a hospitals, and the procedures concerning the drugs. So there are policymakers which are preparing the policies for the hospitals. B point is drug product listing. How we are preparing the list of drugs, that we will discuss here. All these 3 points we will discuss one by one. C point is special information. Now we will discuss each point one by one. A point, hospital policies and procedures. First, drug use. How we will use the drug. For each formulation, there is typical procedure for use. In case of tablets, it is a single dose. Simply, we are going to be swallow by mouth for oral use, tablets, capsules. In case of injectables, we are injecting those injectables into various routes, for example, intradermal routes, intravenous routes, intramuscular routes, subcutaneous routes. So, for each type of drugs, we require the specific type of route of administrations. After that, in case of drugs like uh, controlled release drugs or NDDS drugs, we require the different routes. Description of PTC, Pharmacy and Therapeutic Committee. It's having their members. Committee is formed. So we should know their names. We should enlist their names. The committee should be formed properly, in which we are taking doctors, we are taking pharmacists, we are making them arranging the committee. We are making the head of the committee also to make the decisions regarding the therapeutic committee, because this PTC is nothing but the whole and sole authority for hospital formulary. So we should prepare the description of this. Hospital regulations about prescribing. There must be some regulations regarding prescriptions. How many drugs will prescribe, the way of prescriptions, whether it is in written form or in type form, what drugs we should prescribe, the drugs which are available there, only those drugs we should prescribe. So there are certain regulations which one can prepare regarding prescription. Next, regarding dispensing also, how we will make the arrangement of drugs, how we are regulating their flow from the medical shop to the patients or to the various wards or to the departments of the hospitals. So dispensing is also another way to reach the drugs towards patients. Regulations we are preparing for dispensing also, also for administration of drugs, how we are administering drugs. In case of the tablets, how we are administering. In case of the eye drops, how we are instilling that eye drops. In case of the subcutaneous route drugs, for example, insulin, how we are injecting that insulin, how we are producing the, how we are implanting the transdermal patches, how we are transmitting that. So there are specific rules that need to be prepared for each drugs. If we are giving the enema, what is a proper procedure for enema, how we should give the enema. So it can be taught to the doctors, to the nurses, to the pharmacists, the who are in touch with the patients. So there should be proper rules for administration of that drug. In case of pessaries, how we are inserting that pessaries, what precaution we should take. Like that, various rules are there. Now, rules for medical representatives. So the representatives means MRs, the marketing executives for our pharmaceutical products which are coming toward the hospitals. So we should prepare some rules for their entry, at which time they must come, at which time they should not come. For example, in case of the time where we are having lots of patients, in case of crowdy situations, we should not entertain medical representative. So we should give them a specific time, at which time the physicians or the doctors or the specialists which are free at that specific time. So we can prepare the list of the medical representative from which company they belongs, and also we can organize, we can plan the timing for them, and only at that stipulated time we must take those calls of medical representative. After that, emergency drug products, we must enlist the emergency drug products, and they must be ready, they must be available at the time of patient requirement, because emergency drugs always soul of our hospitals. After that, pharmacy operating procedure. This procedure also we should define, form we should form the committee for the pharmacy operating procedures. They will develop the procedures. After that, information on using formulary. So proper information of using formulary should be there, and how we are using that formulary, how we are maintaining the information in that formulary, that one should know. Drug product listing. This is very important topic, students. How we are listing the drugs into our shops or into our dispensaries. Listing is very important, and there are various ways to do the listing of that drugs. Formulary item entries alphabetically by generic name. By generic name, we can make the list of the drugs in alphabetically. For example, paracetamol. Where we are placing paracetamol, we can make the compartment, the drugs which are containing paracetamol. There are various trade names, for example, metacin or crocin. So alphabetically, we can arrange the typical generic name containing blocks alphabetically, A to Z. After that, in case of another drug, for example, atenolol or furosemide, so we can arrange them alphabetically, and we can make the compartment by the generic name alphabetically within therapeutic classes. For example, anti-cancer drugs, we can arrange in one compartment alphabetically. After that, anti-tubercular drugs, there are in another compartment. Anti-hyperlipidemic agents, hematinic drugs. After that, drugs which are used in case of antiviral therapy, drugs which are used in diarrhea, dysentery, antimalarial drugs. So we can make the specific compartment for specific drugs, and we can arrange them alphabetically. So these are the ways by which we can make the listing of the drugs. Types of information. This is the another way for listing of the drugs. For example, dosage forms. According to the dosage forms, we can make the arrangement. For example, we can make the arrangement for salines, drips in one compartment. We can make arrangement for surgical items in another compartment. We can make the compartment for parenterals. We can make compartment for pessaries or intrarectal way drugs. We can make compartment for different types of drugs at different places. So according to the dosage form also we can make the listing. After that, package at 100 mg or 10 mg. Accordingly, we can make the arrangement. We can list the drugs. Packaging, packaging also another way to arrange the drugs. Now, second way is active ingredients. According to the active ingredients, we can make the arrangement of that typical drugs. For example, if suppose if in a cup syrup is there, if it contains the active ingredient codeine, suppose, so codeine phosphate is the active ingredient, and accordingly we can enlist the drugs alphabetically which contain that active ingredients. Another active ingredients atenolol. It is an antihypertensive drug. So we can make the arrangement for the typical drugs according to their active ingredients. Suppose in some drugs, in some tablets, or in some suspensions, they are having one active ingredients and remaining are supporting. So we can consider one active ingredient, and accordingly we can make the listing, we can make the arrangement of that drug. Active ingredients is very important because nowadays lots of people are asking the drugs over the counter. Means they are asking the drugs for headache, they are asking the drugs for pain, they are asking the drugs for stop the dysentery. Like loperamide is the drug which we should give to stop the dysentery. So how much dose we should give, that we should consider, and it should be nearby our counter. Means it should not be hide, it should not away from our reach. Or you require some lifting, we require some stool, we require to go more distance, so within few seconds we should reach to that products. So that's why the over the counter drugs nowadays they are having great role into the treatment. Because if you will see in lots of medical, almost 10% drugs are OTC, over the counter drugs. So painkiller drugs mostly nowadays, simply for antacids, for acidity also the people are asking drugs. Headache is body pain, if you are having any sort of fever, or fever also, any infection also, if we are having any wound, for wound healing also, the pharmacists are giving the drugs over the counter. After that, next, adult pediatric dose. Here we need to be consider the dose. There are certain rules, regulations for pediatric dose. There are two theories. One is Clark's rule and another is Young's rule. According to the Clark's rule, child dose is equal to adult dose multiplied by weight of the child in lbs, in pound, multiplied by 150 is child's dose. Now I will give some example. For example, suppose the child's age is 11 years, girl child 11 years, and her weight is 75 lbs. 75 lbs means almost 30 kg, near about 75 lbs divided by 150 means 75 divided by 150, it will be half dose of adult dose. Suppose adult dose is 500 mg, so it will be half, means it will be 250 mg for that child requirement. Accordingly we should calculate the dose according to the weight of the patient, weight of the child in lbs, in pound. Second rule is Young's rule. Young's rule, we are considering the age of the patients, age of the child. In that, child's dose is equal to adult dose multiplied by child's age divided by 12 plus child's age. Now here I will illustrate that. Suppose child's age is 12 years. Now adult dose multiplied by 12 divided by 12 plus 12 means 12 divided by 24 means half. Means for 12-year-old child, we need to give half dose of adult. Suppose adult is having dose of 60 mg, so we can give 30 mg. If adult dose is 5 ml of suspension or elixir, so we should give 2.5 ml of that typical suspension or syrup to the patients. So in this fashion, we must calculate the dose by these two rules. Try to understand, try to recall those rules: Clark's rules and Young's rule. Pharmacist must know these rules, and accordingly he have to plan, he have to design the dose for childs. He should not give higher dose to the patients who are having below 18 years. So according to the age, he should plan, or he should calculate the dose perfectly, and he must give to the patients. Next, route of administration. By which route we are giving the drugs. Accordingly, also we can list the drugs. For now, near about 80% drugs we are giving by route of oral route. By oral route, we are giving the maximum drugs. So we can keep at one another compartment. After that, parenterals. We can make another compartment for parenterals in our dispensary. We can make the compartment for IV, for example, normal saline or dextrose or glucose. After that, we can make another compartment for surgicals. We can make another compartments for the drugs which we are giving sustained release. We can also make compartments for the drugs which we are using as a enema in intrarectal route. The drugs we are giving by a topical route, we are giving some ointments or creams. So accordingly we can make the plan, we can make the arrangement of the drugs, the route of by route of administration. And the next point is cost. So if the drugs are not costly, if the cheap drugs are there, for example, recently I discussed OTC, over the counter drugs. So they are generic drugs. So generic drugs we should keep nearby your counter. So whenever patient will ask you, immediately you should give. And the costly drugs we should keep away somewhat a large distance than the counter. Means the the drugs which are having less rate, which are cheap drugs, they should be near the counter, near the reach of you, when you are where you are standing. So and the drugs like generic drugs, which the peoples which are asking that please give me the drugs which are having less cost, so that's our responsibility to make them available, those drugs. So cost is also another issue. And we should know, we should identify, we should evaluate that for the same active ingredient there may be the variation into the cost. So we must identify that which brand is having less cost, and that cost affecting brand you should provide to the peoples who require that at low price or low cost. Especially for the poor peoples, we should give those drugs. Indexes to the drug products listing by generic name or brand name. Generic name means what? The chemical name. For example, paracetamol or aspirin. These are the generic name. And brand name for paracetamol is crocin or furosemide. Furosemide is the generic name. Lasix is the brand name. Atenolol is the generic name. And Aten or Aten 30 or Aten 50 is nothing but the brand name. The company which giving that typical name to that product is nothing but the brand name or trade name. Now another example is Mankind Pharma is giving the brand name Dolokind, Dolokind Plus for paracetamol. If it is containing paracetamol, paracetamol combined with diclofenac. So accordingly, they are giving the brand names. So there are number of companies, they are giving their brand names according to their company's name. So by this way also we can do listing of the drugs But better if we'll go for the generic name, it will be good to keep in our mind, to understand or to remember all the names, because we are the pharmacist. We are more concerning regarding the generic names, because we are not having that much concentration on brand names. In case of doctors or physicians, they have to recall the brand names, because what pharma the medical representative which are coming towards them, they are keeping in the mind the name of that typical company's brand, and they need to prescribe those brands. But we are the pharmacist, we must know their generic name, and we are not more concerned regarding the brand names, we are concerned regarding the generic names. Now, next way of listing is therapeutic or pharmacological index, where we are doing the treatment. So, what type of patients we are using in case of anti-cancer therapy? So, by therapeutic way, cancer therapy, whatever drugs are required, so it is having some combinations. It is having some collaboration of the typical drugs. We can make the list of anti-cancer drugs or anti-tubercular drugs or anti-amoebic drugs. So, according to the therapy, we are listing the products. Now, for example, in case of NSAID, there is a large number of drugs. So, therapeutically, we are making the list of drugs. In case of cardiovascular drugs, in cardiovascular drugs also there are various categories. For example, antihypertensive, antiarrhythmic, anti-CCF drugs. After that, anti-hyperlipidemic drugs, atherosclerotic drugs which are affecting on atherosclerosis. So like this, in CNS also we have various categories, and we can make the list of those drugs. The drugs as a antipsychotic drugs, tranquilizer drugs. After that, sedative and hypnotic drugs. Like this, various drugs we can make the list according to their therapeutic effects. It is nothing but the pharmacological index. So by that way also we can make the listing of the drugs. So whatever way which we require, we feel comfortable, according to that we can make the listing of that drugs. We must prepare the indexes according to the generic name or therapeutic or pharmacological index. I hope you understood what I'm telling. Here, indexing very important, because if you are preparing the index into the hospitals, into the shop, it will be very easy to identify the drugs, to evaluate the drugs, to check the drugs, checklist, because whatever drugs are coming from the physician, whatever list or a prescription coming from the market or physician, so we need to be check that drug is available in your inventory or not, it is available into your drug list or not. So if you are having PC, so by clicking, by finding that drug, the drug name, or by the way which we are preparing the list, so it is really easy to identify. Once you know that drug is available to your medical shop, you can immediately find that drug and you can reach towards that drug, and it can be dispensed immediately. So it is the way to make the inventory, and it is very good for you also, for the maintenance of your dispensary. Special information: equivalent dosage of similar drugs. Now, here also another role of pharmacist. Pharmacist must know which drug is equivalent for that drug. Now, suppose if you are giving the same drug for different brand names, if suppose paracetamol is the major drug, if it contains paracetamol and there are various brand names, so in this case we can immediately give the drug for the same concentration. We can give the drug from another company from another brand name. But when there is a point comes regarding the class of their drugs, suppose if you are having the class, for example, anti-hyperlipidemic agents, if you are having simvastatin, rosuvastatin, in that case both the drugs are having different doses. So in that case we should evaluate that this drug we should give which dose, and another which can give for another different doses. So equivalent of doses of similar drugs. So in that case, we should identify that which drug is similar to that. They are having similar doses also. Now, in case of antidiarrheal drugs, for example, metronidazole and tinidazole, if you will see, both are having near about same doses, equivalent doses. Means the concentration which we are giving by one drug, same effect must produce by the another drug. Now, in this case of metronidazole and tinidazole, if you are giving 400 mg of metronidazole, same effect will be produced by the 400 mg of tinidazole. So here, our point defines equivalent doses of similar drugs. So these are two similar drugs, and they are having similar effect at similar dosages. So that we need to be ensure, we need to find that which drug is exactly equivalent of each other, and in that case we should give the alternate dose and alternate drug. Now, hospital approved abbreviations. So we should use the only hospital approved abbreviations. We should not prepare the abbreviations according to our own use, according to our own will. Now, next is rules for calculating periodic doses. That recently we have discussed that which rules we should prepare. There are two rules. One is Clark's rules and another is Young's rules. Again, I have to repeat that Clark's rules is nothing but the child's dose is equal to the child's age. Child's weight is equal to the adult dose multiplied by child's weight in lbs in pound divided by 150 and dose. So whatever dose will be there, suppose now I have given the example 75 pound of that child divided by 150, it becomes one half, means the child's dose equal to one half of the adult dose. And another rule was Young's rule. According to that Young's rule, we should take the consideration of the child's age. Now adult dose, child's dose is equal to adult dose multiplied by that child's age divided by 12 plus child's age. If child's age is suppose 6 years, 6 years. Now 6 years, 6 divided by 12 plus 6 means 18. 6 by 18, it is one third. Means we have to give the one third dose of the adult dose to the child who is having age of 6 years. So in this fashion, we can calculate the exact dose of the child, and that dose we should give to the child, that patient. So in this fashion, the pharmacist must have that habit, that knowledge to calculate the dose for kids. List for sugar free drugs. Now here, in case of the patients who are having diabetes or who are more concerning regarding the calories, so in that case we must make the list of sugar free drugs, and whatever drugs which can be asked by the patients, that drugs we need to be produced. And it was a new concept was developed especially for the patient who are having diabetes mellitus, or the patients who want to control their calories. There are various brands, various drugs are available into the market. In that first drug was developed like saccharin. I think you know saccharin is one of the drug which can be used as a supplement or as a alternative for sugar. After that, aspartame, it was also taken a wide market as a sugar free drugs. After that, there is another drug which has been emerged in 2017. That drug have taken the large market. Now in this fashion, the drugs has been developed. So various drugs has been developed, and they are also having various colors. Now The drugs like saccharine or the aspartame or the drugs like saccharose is also another drug which have, it is almost 30% of the market. Saccharose, that saccharose is one of the drug. Now it is also cheap drug. Its color is, I think, green in color, and it is given in lots of sugar free medicaments as a sugar, because it is natural sweeteners. So we should not give directly sugar, means we are controlling the sugar level into the patients by giving those sugar free drugs. But we must keep some precaution when we are giving these sugar free drugs. They can also produce cancerous type of symptoms. There was some articles, there are some research works done by some scientists that they may produce cancers. So we must take them somewhat cautiously. We should not take again and again for longer period. There is also list of dialysable poisons. So we must know whatever poisons which we are using in daily use, the drugs which may produce poisonous effects. So that list we must produce, and we should consider that whatever drugs we are using, we should take at very specific time, specific period. Now metric conversion tables, that also we should produce. Poison control information, these poison control information, there are various centers are available for poison controls information at district level, at state level, at our national level. Central Drug Research Laboratory at Izzat Nagar, Lucknow, at national level we are having, and at state level at Mumbai we are having that center, and at each district level, that district civil hospitals we are having that poison control information center. What is that center? This center is nothing but the where we are giving the information that this person have taken the poison, and we are informing that thing toward the that center. And there are certain numbers are given, toll free numbers are given. In the US, in other countries it is very common, but in India it is not that much common. Simply people are uh, calling those toll free numbers. Immediately the van or the ambulance will come, they will take that patients and they will start their treatment, whatever treatment they have to take. So poison controls information is very active, and nobody will lose their life by taking that poison. Table of drugs interactions, we must produce the table of drug interactions, because if blindly if you are giving the two drugs which may produce the drug interaction positive negative, so they may be problematic. So that's need of our hospitals, need of the pharmacists to produce the tables of drug interactions. Because if you see nowadays also, lots of patients are losing their life due to the drug interactions, due to the adverse drug interactions which are produced, because drugs has been become the integral part of our life. We should not live without drugs, because daily we have to take the drugs. And during that treatment, if another disease will arise, so in that we need to be consider whether that two or three drugs are having specific interactions or not. That we need to check, and once we have checked, after that we should go for the alternative drugs which are more safer than that drug. So in this fashion, drug table interactions, that table for drug interaction is very very important. Even if you are studying B pharmacy, we must know and we should keep in our mind, we should fix that this when you are giving this drug with that another drug, it will produce the drug interactions. Preparation of formulary, visual, pleasing, easily readable, and professional in appearance. Now, this is the way how we are preparing the formulary. There are various ways to prepare the formulary. A typical formulary must have following compositions. Now, there are various compositions that we need to know. In that, first is title page. The title page, we are preparing a formulary. A typical title page we should prepare, which is having the meaning of that formulary. Next is names and titles of members of PTC. That is very important. Name and titles means, the suppose if you are having 10 members of PTC, so we should write their names and their titles, their positions, their qualifications. We should write. If that person is chairperson, their chairperson, after that his qualification, that also you should write. So name and titles of that members of pharmacy and therapeutic committee. Now tables of contents, whatever tables we are having, their contents, what are the information it is there regarding drugs, so that all things we should be ensure in that. Information on hospital policies and procedures concerning drugs. Here what the policies which we are preparing for drugs, which are preparing for therapies, that typical informations we need to be right here, the rules or the policies or procedures. Fifth point is product accepted for use at hospitals. The drugs which we are going to be used in this formulary, in these hospitals, only acceptable drugs we should write here. There may be some unacceptable drugs also. For example, the banned drugs or the drugs which we should not use in hospitals. So we need to be consider those. And lastly, appendix. So in this fashion, in appendix we are making the list of drugs in which we are getting the drugs. If you want to search any drug, immediately we are getting that. So in this fashion we have completed this topic. If any point is remained, that we will continue in next lecture. So thanks a lot students for hearing me carefully. If you have any issue regarding my lecture, you can ask questions at any time, or you can also WhatsApp me if you didn't understood. Okay, so this is sufficient for today. See you. Bye.